Hey everybody, welcome back to my channel. This is Abby with Abby Reviews, and it's Sunday, so you know what that means. It is Bridgerton. So we are going to get into Bridgerton Season 1, Episode 4. Episode 4, I think? Episode 4. I don't know, I've been so caught up. I believe it's Episode 4, but let's jump into, it'll be in the description box. Y'all know what it is. Let's jump into the Foo-La-La, shall we? Pause. So, we start with Daphne meeting the prince at the queen salon. He gives her this expensive ass fucking beautiful diamond necklace. She has a little flashback, like it's the Duke putting the necklace on her. Her mama asks her, "Is she okay?" She like, And so then we go to the Duke, who's beating the piss out of they both fighting the feelings. And his friend is asking him to help him with this match coming up so he can make enough money to feed his kids. And then we go to the Lady Featherington's house, where Miss Thompson, the cousin who's knocked up, Lord, they trying to sell it off to an old man who won't ask questions when she pop out a baby 6 months after the marriage. This is a lot. Okay, so the prince asked Anthony to bring Daphne to the boxing match of the Duke's friend. And he does. And they are sitting there getting to know each other, having a genuine conversation. She realizes she's a genuinely nice person and all of that good stuff. And so while she's giggling and laughing with him, who is spying them from across the room? The Duke. Who is not happy that they're giggling and having genuine conversation? The Duke. And so the Duke's friend wins his match, and there's some man up there who bet on the white dude. I don't know why you thought that was going to work, but he lost, and now everybody looking for their money from him. He's like, give me 2 days' time, and I'll have everybody's money. Child, the shenanigans and food. So Henry Bridgerton, one of the brothers, is at the club, and there's this artist there, and apparently Henry had critiqued his work in some way and said it was cold and lacking feeling or some such foolishness. And they have a talk, and he's like, well, where's your work? And he was like, And he was like, here's my card. This is my studio. Come by the studio. You can see my real work and see that it's not lacking in whatever he said it was lacking in. And he was like, I'm never going to live that down. He's like, yeah, no, nope, not going to let you. I think they're going to end up fucking. That's the vibe that I got, but I could be wrong. Pause. It's time to shit or get off the pot, sis. So, the Duke and Anthony was sitting there. He said, I heard you're leaving town tonight. He was like, yeah. And he was like, so I guess your intentions for my sister were honorable after all. He was like, I tried to tell you that. And he's like, one day we'll look back over this and laugh. He's like, yeah. He said, dare I say you're going to miss me while I'm gone? He was like, don't get beside yourself. It's not what I was saying. I don't know why I'm tickled by that. But then the prince comes up to Anthony. It's like, can I speak to you? And he asks for permission to propose to his sister. Anthony comes home and tells his sister and his mama. And she's like, he said, I know better than to speak for you. So what do you want me to tell this man? And she's like, and her mom was like, you don't have to answer. I feel like she's dressed up and she's got the boy's necklace on. So I'm assuming the answer is going to be yes. Until the Duke shows up and rides off with the sunset with her or something stupid like that. I believe. We'll see. Let's go. Fuck on. When did... Okay. Let's rewind. Let me rewind because we're gonna get to this last statement. Because what the fuck? What the actual fuck? So Lady Bridgerton goes to talk to Daphne, and she was trying to get to understand why you making this choice for the prince and not waiting for the Duke or not being with the Duke. And she was like, it was a ruse. We did it so I would get some suitors. And the girl could tell her mama knows she in love with the Duke, and she's heartbroken. And she try and comfort her. Kids roll over to the Duke's house where everybody's packing up their shit, and Lady Danbury is like, She's like, where are you going? She's like, I know it's some remote corner of the world. She's like, what are you going to do? I already know, do what you have always done, take everything that you have for granted. And she was like, don't you understand, a new day is dawning in society when the king fell in love with one of us, separated by color, until the king saw one of us and fell in love with us, and now the society is dawning a new day. When did this become a... I thought we were just ignoring. I just thought it was a multiracial cast. I thought this was just like Hamilton situation where it didn't matter what the color the people were. They had nothing to do. I'm so confused and conflamed. I don't even know. I predict he's on his way over to that damn Lady Trowbridge house to get his woman back, but I could be wrong. I'm probably not, but I could. Before we get to this boy being about to get his guts dug in, because I feel like that's what's finna happen. So Daphne comes to the ball at Lady Trowbridge's house, and so she's standing there and she sees the prince, and as she's looking at the prince, Cressida, oh stinking attitude ass, comes up to her and talk about, you could have picked anyone. You had suitors lined up. You just had to steal my chance at happiness. I said, I knew the marriage market would make us rivals, but I didn't know it would make you my enemy. And she turned to her and said, bitch, the man chose. What you want me to do? Even if it wasn't me, it won't never gonna be you, ho. Ugh, can we just not? And then at the Duke's house, as they're packing everything up, he called over Jeffrey. He's like, Jeffrey, why is this painting here? I thought it was at Somerset House. And he was like, don't you remember you demanded it be returned to you? And then he flashed back to when they almost touched hands looking at the paint. What the fuck is up with the daddy from the Featherington daddy? Philippa finally got somebody to notice her. Cute little boy. He's a little nerdy. He got allergies for everything. He likes cheese. He also likes Philippa. That's the only food that came up there to offer her flowers or poetry or anything. She was enamored. Now the daddy done said something to this boy, and he won't even look at her now. And she talk about, why would you do that? He's perfectly suitable. She was like, she can wait till next season. He's like, with two others unwed. And he was like, they all can wait for next season as far as I'm concerned. The fuck? What is happening? Are we in Bizarro world? Something's going on with this daddy. I don't know. Also, Henry went into the artist's house. So he talks to the guy. He's like, he has naked models in the middle of the room, and people are drawing them for the art and stuff. He's like, is this your life? Is this what you do? He's like, yeah. He's like, second sons have more fun. The first sons have to do all the duties and have the air. The second sons can do whatever they want. And so he's like, sit down, get acquainted, do some art. So he sits at an easel, and the girl next to him is smoking I'm assuming some weed. She gives him the cigarette. He starts to smoke and starts to draw. He gonna end up, I feel like, okay, I'm gonna leave that alone because maybe I'm wrong. But I was very getting he finna get into bed with that man. But I could very well be wrong. All right, before we go back to this ball. So Eloise is on this mission to find out who the real Lady Whistledown is. So she's in her mama's maid's room, and she found this box with all the Lady Whistledown papers in it. And she was like, why are you, and she catches her. She's like, why are you in my room? And she was like, mother told me to come down here to get the latest Whistledown to see how many times Daphne and Prince Friedrich's name is mentioned in it. It sounds such a lame. She's like, your mother wasn't even that happy about Prince Friedrich, so try again. And she was like, all right, I was trying to figure out if you are Lady Whistledown. She started laughing in that girl's face. She said, I thought you was the smart one. Do you think I would be working for y'all ridiculous asses if I had Lady Whistledown's money? Do you think I have time with all the fucking work that I have to do to be Lady Whistledown? Girl, if you don't get somewhere and sit down, get out of my room. The plot thickens. So, just as the princess about to ask her to marry him, she has an anxiety attack because she in love with the Duke, and she runs out. She can't breathe. She takes the necklace off. She turns around, and who's behind her? The Duke. They get into a conversation. They actually get into a fight, and she was like, you know what? He won't say what it really is. And she gets sick of his shit, and she walks off. He goes running behind her, talk about you can't be out here by yourself all alone. Da 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 da. And she was like, you're not the boss of me. Fuck you. You on that bullshit. He grabs her. They kiss. They both looking dumbfounded in the face. She kisses him. Then they start making out. He's grabbing her titty, her ass, all this good stuff. They making out. They making out. Her brother comes by and sees her, punches this nigga in the face. It's like, you gonna marry my sister immediately. And he's like, I can't. And he was like, you defiled her and you not gonna marry her? He's like, I cannot marry her. And he was like, well, then I demand satisfaction. She was like, a duel? You can't do that, Anthony. And he was so he agrees to the duel. And rightfully so, Daphne is devastated. She was like, my nigga, you would rather die than marry me? Is that what you're trying to say? You would rather be dead than be married to me is what you're saying. And he says, I'm sorry. And Anthony is like, come on, let's go back to the ball because this nigga on some bullshit. Damn. You would rather die than marry. You would rather be dead. Wait, everything is moving so fast. Wait a minute. Okay, so... Oh, we started in Penelope's room. Penelope has a crush on Colin. Colin has eyes for Miss Thompson. So he went to rescue her from dancing with the ogre that they try to get her to marry. And so Miss Thompson is like, she's all aglow and she's down with getting married to Colin because he's young and eager and he'd be a good dad. And inside, Penelope is breaking on the inside because she is in love with him. And so she gets away from it, sends Miss Thompson to her room. She says she's tired when she's really heartbroken. Eloise comes to her door. She cusses Eloise out because she's like, I don't have time for this lady whistle down bullshit. I got real life shit going on, girl. And nobody... She's like, what could you possibly think about? She's like, I got mature problems like marriage and shit. And she's like, well, what, you don't care about marriage. What if I do, bitch? I don't have time. Everybody can't be a pretty Bridgerton and have 6,000. Now, Penelope is acting like her feelings is hurt. She run off and Eloise ran off and Penelope's like, Eloise, come back. And she didn't. She in her feelings. And so now Daphne and Anthony are home and he was like, go to bed because now I got to duel this nigga at dawn. And she was like, I don't want his death or your death on my hands. She said, I'd rather just live with being cursed and banished to spinsterhood than have this shit go down like this. And he was like, well, it's not your choice at this point. So he calls his other brother, Henry, who just came home, into the room. I need you to be my second. The other little brother, Colin, comes home. They tell him what's going on. Now we go to the boxing place and the Duke is there and he's like, I need a drink for this. This is gonna be some bullshit. I'm sure his boxing buddy is gonna be his second. Then Anthony goes to the singer's house and he's like, at dawn, I'm dueling at dawn. Anthony and the singer, he's telling her, what if he's like, I duel at dawn, then I'll be free from all the society's rules and then we can be together and blah 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 blah. And then they start kissing and they gonna fuck. So that's where it's a lot happened. It's a lot happening, and it's still got a little more time left. Jesus Christ. Look at her face. Look at her face. Damn it. Look how she's like, this some bullshit. So Mr. Featherington comes into his office. You know, Mrs. Featherington, she was like, something is going on with this nigga, and I don't know what it is, but I'm gonna find the fuck out. She's sitting in his office when he come back, talk about, I found your allegers, and I know what you did. I know about your gambling and your debts. You done spent all our money, including the girls' dowries. That's why you rejected that Mr. Finch for Philippa, because you got us broke and destitute out here. She's like, the question is not what I know, it's what you gonna do about it. This nigga started crying. Talk about, oh, Portia, I failed you. I failed. I know. And she started crying. And she was like, what the fuck is you? What the fuck? What the fuck? That's literally her face. What the hell is happening here? She like, this some bitch. Look at her. Look at her. Hold on, because it's Netflix. You know the next episode will start right up. So they get to do the dueling. Just as they fire, Daphne jumps in. Her horse scared. She gets thrown off the horse. They thought she was shot. She was fine. She talks to the Duke and tell him, look, this doesn't have to happen because we were seen. And so we have to be married or I'll be ruined. And he says, I can't. And she was like, so you hate me that much? I know you don't love me, but you hold me in such low regard that you will allow me to be ruined and filled with shame and reproach from society just because you don't want to get married. And he was like, your dream is to be a mother and have children and all that good stuff and have a house full of love and laughter. And I cannot provide that to you. And they was like, okay, we got to resume the duel if this is not happening. And then Daphne says, no need to resume. The Duke and I are going to get married. So she is willing to sacrifice her dreams of a loving family and home to marry this man. So this episode, a lot happened. A lot went down. It was a lot. It was a whole lot. There was a duel. We found out the Featheringtons are actually broke. Like, a lot happened in this episode. Like, I really want to go right immediately into the next episode, but I'm trying to have some self-restraint. I said this is an every week thing. So I want, like, oh my God, if this was a book, I'd have read the whole book in one. Well, I did read the whole book in one whole setting. Neither here nor there. Like, I'm stunned by everything that's happening. There's so many moving parts. It's so good. Let's get down in the comments. Let's talk about it. I thought the Duke was going to say he was already married. That's why he got... I don't know. But let's get down in the comments. Like, comment, and subscribe. Tell a friend, tell a kin, and I'll catch you in the next one. Peace.